Hi, and welcome to Sustainability Explored. This is a podcast where every week I explore one topic through interviews with the most disruptive minds in sustainability. We will be turning their experiences from behind the scenes into actionable advice that you can implement regardless of where you are in your life or in your profession or what's your background. My name is Anna. I am an environmentalist, sustainability consultant, and the host of this very show. Today with me, I have a very special lady. Finally, the first Ukrainian on my show, 15 months after I started this podcast. Olesya Lane. She's based in the UK now. She is a fashion stylist, entrepreneur, founder of the slowfashionbus.co.uk, upcycling and mending atelier, and a true sustainability advocate. Olesya is helping open-minded women to express themselves, save a small fortune, and be joyful by teaching how to upcycle and mend their clothes. I'm very excited she joins us today. In fact, she's already waiting in the waiting room to start our interview. If you're still not subscribed, this is your moment to fix this issue. And once you're ready, let's jump right into our interview. So, as I said, we have an amazing lady, an amazingly insightful interview coming up. Olesya, I'm super happy you join us today. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Anna. Thank you for having me. Everything is great. Yeah, busy, of course. A lot of things are going on. And we have, I think it's 21st, 27th of September. It's National Recycle Week.
Oh, that's very good to know. So we're jumping in the topic of our interview. I have already introduced you a little bit in the intro. Yeah. I've said that you are my first Ukrainian on the show and that you're based in the UK right now. We will be talking, as you have rightfully mentioned, about upcycling, mending, slow fashion, fast fashion, and what can we do collectively and individually to fix the problem, at least, try to do so. Can you tell us, and this is something I always start my interviews with, about your background? What was that event or series of events that motivated you, pushed to connect your life with fashion, textiles, and creativity in that regard?
My path was a long one. Well, what to do, that's fine. My first upcycling project was around 25 years ago when I took my dad's top and I chopped it into pieces and I made a nice top for myself. I was very excited, I loved it, and later on I was making handbags from my mom's old bags, and I was making jewelry from bits and pieces. I was embroidering my jeans with beads, all different types of things, and I was making soft toys from fabric scraps, I can call them. So yeah, it was a lot about creativity, having fun and enjoying the process and expressing myself. I didn't know a lot about sustainability or environmental issues at that time. I just was having fun and I was working with all things that I had already in the house. So I was reinventing them basically. And fast forward maybe around 10 years ago, that's the time when I was living in the Middle East. I noticed consumerism was very vivid there. And I was kind of taking part in it as well. I have to admit. And then we moved to the UK a few years ago, and I noticed a lot of charity shops here. Mm-hmm. So this prompted me to do some research, and then I just was unpleasantly surprised about what's going on.
Right.
With clothing and yeah.
I'm now sitting in Turkey in a super small village. We're on holidays, last week of holidays. super small village called Mahmudlar, for anyone who might be familiar, maybe.
Lovely.
So there is the sea, 100 meters from me, the promenade, so the bank of the sea, and there is one street. So it's a tiny, tiny place, one main street where everything is located. And you take, let's say, you walk 4 intersections, and on every intersection there is one clothes recycling bin. This is one of the, yes, this is one of the, staggering things that I noticed first. The second one, if you're curious, was the bin for collecting the breads. I still don't know what they do with them. They look like garbage bins, but then there is a picture of bread and sweetbreads on them. And every time I open, out of curiosity, there is bread. So maybe for homeless, no idea. But close. So every intersection in a tiny village in the south of Turkey has the clothes collecting bin. Where does it, what is the problem with collecting the clothes here? Because it seems to me that, as my Canadian master thesis supervisor would say, when the problem is on the table, we are all talking about it, we discuss, it is the problem. When we hide it under the table, it's kind of okay, So those bins collecting outdated clothes, unwanted even, maybe not outdated, look to me like, let's hide the problem. Where do these things go from here? What do you think? What do you know?
Exactly, this is exactly what it is. Let's hide the problem, or let's pretend we are doing something. I would call it like that, because as an example, here in the UK, only 30% of all collected and donated clothing through these collection bins or charity shops, only 30% is being sold in UK charity shops. 30% is not that much. And the rest is being exported to Eastern Europe, Africa, to be sold on second-hand markets. And recently, nobody wants this clothing because it's of low quality, it's fast fashion. And of course, nobody wants to wear it after someone else. The seams are breaking and the fabric's quality is really, really bad. And I understand that, this is right. And just because we are buying something and we wear it only once, or even don't wear at all, only because of that, people will have to deal with that. I don't think that this is right. And actually, I'm not sure if we can call these bins recycling bins, because only 1% of all donated, discarded clothes can be recycled actually in a factory, recycled in a proper, manufacturing way. Why? It's just because the way it's made, the fabric quality is very low, and it's really, really difficult. There are mixed fabrics, and it's really rare when you can find, let's say, wool, pure wool, and there should be some threads as well, woolen, and all details. It all should be also wool, so it all can be recycled. The same with cotton. If it's cotton garment and it's stitched with polyester threads, no, it's going to be really, really difficult, almost impossible. So all those details are taken into consideration.
Right.
So yeah, all those collection bins is something like we are doing something, but actually it's not really helpful as we think.
So basically, when we are donating something, the problem is just out of our sight. And then it is up to us, again, extended consumer responsibility, in a way, to educate ourselves on, do we really need that many clothes? Do we really use all of our wardrobe? And when we are donating, asking actually ourselves proactively, if I would receive this for free, would I wear it? If the answer is no, then I don't even know what to do next. But I know you came up with the very interesting solution, which is upcycling and mending. making the clothes garment cool again. Tell us more about Slow Fashion Bus. How the idea was born. What's going on right now? I know that you have lots of exciting stories to share.
Yeah. It's a story, my story of my life, I can call it. Slow Fashion Bus was born when I had an idea to go around the UK on a sewing gig. And during this gig, I would meet people, I would talk about fast fashion harm, I would show them a few basic stitches, I would show them how to mend clothing, I would show them how to upcycle, a few tricks maybe, And and to go on a tour, I need some sort of transport. So bus for me was kind of like old-fashioned bus, and I would be sitting on this bus going around the country. So it's like some sort of fun. And slow fashion, it's also this bit slow as opposed to fast fashion, because for me fast is indication of speed with which a garment enters our household and then it leaves. So slow fashion bus is some sort of opposition to fast fashion. And I started teaching people how to mend and upcycle here in the UK, and I really loved it. It was just at the point in my life when I was thinking either I'm going to the college and study environmental protection, or the second option was mental wellness or counseling. So thinking what to do, kids are growing and I need to keep me busy. And then I thought, yeah, not gonna happen. And my creative voice was so loud. So I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna teach sewing and upcycling because I love it, and because of environment, and because of mental wellness impact. And all this came together. So I just planned my first class and I loved it, and people loved it, and it just, how it started. I loved it.
In a way, it's a miracle, but you combine the two without actually going through the formal education. I often ask my guests working really in the hardcore environmental spheres, formal education or fieldwork, learning by doing or academia. And there we don't unite. Some say, I don't know if I would be here without my degree, but I would say like close to 80%, 75% of people would say, experience, beat all. So in a way, you combine both, because there are new studies showing the connection of our handmade crafting, to the improvement of wellness, well-being, mental health as well. How do people take the idea? Is there, what I'm trying to ask? I recalled the previous interview I had early February this year with this fashion consultant, eco-fashion consultant, something like that, Claudia Sharakovsky. She said, we were talking about reusing of the clothes, and she said, well, when you're going to the hotel and you're sleeping on the bed sheets that were washed for you, you're not demanding new bed sheets. No one demands every time the new bed sheets. It's the same thing, you just use it for a while and someone else uses it after you. I think we were talking about the rentals, wardrobe for rent. How do people take, in your case, upcycled clothes, mended clothes? Do they see it as something they would actually wear, or they say, a nice way to express creativity, but it's better, I better leave it at home? How do they take it?
Of course, there are some people that are against, and they are a little bit, trying to stay away from this. But I know a lot of people, they love handmade, they love vintage, pre-loved, and they don't mind buying upcycled clothing, upcycled accessories, because it's unique. You're going to have only one item, specially made for you, with the attention, positive vibes, and, good quality. it's not like it will be made by someone in a sweatshop with very low salary, in a very bad conditions. So this is also really, really important. And yes, I understand, if you're donating clothes to a charity shop, then you should be ready yourself to wear something like that was donated or given away.
Yeah.
This is how I think at the moment we have, it was mentioned in one of our programs, at the moment we have on the planet clothes enough for the next 6 generations. That's unbelievable.
It's
And I was
mind-blowing.
thinking, yeah, my calculations, modest calculations, assumptions were around 10-20 years, but here we go, 6 generations. It's absolutely crazy. And in the UK, we have 600,000 tons of clothing discarded every year. So yeah, this is
I,
something we need to work on, I think. Yeah.
I noticed you used a very interesting word, pre-loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even the language here can
Yeah.
change the perception. You see, I didn't
Mhm.
notice it before, and now you said pre-loved, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ah, you know, it made me think while we were talking. When my grandfather passed away a couple of years ago, we were going through the cupboards, through the clothes wardrobe, and I
Mhm.
found a winter hat, not just a male hat. I tried it and I wear, it's the only hat I wear. And, you know, I feel his
Wow.
presence all the time. I don't care that it's a male hat. And yeah, it's really exactly what you said, pre-loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about wardrobe for rent?
It's good idea as well. Yeah, definitely. If you have some event coming your way, and some important occasion, and if you don't want to wear something that you wore before, and you don't have time, or you don't have wish to upcycle and turn something plain into something nice, then definitely you can go for it. It's really good idea, renting clothing now, and it's becoming more and more popular. Yeah.
I'm about to take a project that will, for 6 months, require
Mm-hmm.
me going from time to time to the ministries, banks, and other quite boring institutions. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even have an outfit to do
All
this.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was curious. All of a sudden, I had this idea: what if I take it for rent?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those things when I
Yeah,
know I have an appointment or a meeting coming up.
yeah.
And you know, in Ukraine, we have the service called Oh My Look, and they just started this subscription wardrobe. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be the first one of the first ones to test it. So I also thought it was a wonderful idea.
Yeah, that's
Your business model changed as well this year, and due to coronavirus crisis, you went online. Tell me a little bit about that turn and what's going on in that field. How is it possible to teach people to sew, mend, and upcycle online?
everything is possible. So yeah, yeah, it was a challenge, as I planned my sewing gig around the UK in April, and then all this situation happened, and I booked classes up to April, and then I had to cancel some of them starting from end of March. So yeah, it's like the end of my life, really, because I couldn't do what I love.
No
Just
more bus.
yeah. And then for a couple of weeks I was thinking and sitting, and I don't know, thinking what to do, and I didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel because things were getting worse. So I thought, okay, let me do something. And I had previous experience in my career when I was writing procedures and policies for big companies, and now I just had to write a procedure, some sort of tutorial for something that I love.
Mhm.
And it didn't really seem to me that big task. Really, it was so easy, and I enjoyed that. So I created a few tutorials, and I created an online course, and I shot a few videos and put 5 working sheets for each lesson, included a lot of interesting information uh, about color seasons, because people, when they are going through their wardrobes, color season, it's also something that needs to be taken into account. If you buy something and the color doesn't suit you, you're not going to wear it. And so, yeah, this is also one of the aspects. So, yeah, so I put everything together and had to work on my website myself, which was okay. I had it done. I'm really pleased with it. Yeah, it was a bit difficult at the beginning, but just, yeah, the way I did it, and I really love it. And I have an opportunity to connect with people, not just in my local community, and invite people to come to my class, but also from Australia, United States, Europe. So it's really great.
Wow. I noticed one of your recent LinkedIn posts. I started following you and I saw a post about Chanel jacket
Yeah.
that was upcycled in a way and sewed that way that it really reminded a Chanel classic jacket. I know that people react on the streets when you're wearing your clothes. Tell me a bit about that experience.
Oh, yeah. It's something to do with me being joyful as well, but joyful in the way that I prompt people to talk to me. So when I go out to town center, or if we go for a ride with my husband and take kids out, so I make sure that I dress in the way that people notice my clothes and they talk to me. And this is a chance for me to explain what's happening with clothing, explain what I do with my clothing. As an example, this pinafore dress, I bought it in 2013. And then now, if I look at it, it's gloomy, doomy gray. And then after having 2 kids, I had to add 2 panels to make it a bit wider, not so tight. So this is just, what you can do by simply replacing buttons to colorful ones. These were here gray buttons, and I put colorful ones, and these are patches, hand sewn, so you don't need the sewing machine to do upcycles. And I added bright pockets as well. So this is just one of the examples. And when I walk out and about, people notice me, people ask me, oh, that's nice. And I say, yeah, I upcycle it. And when you take things to a charity shop, this is what happens. And it takes 7,000 gallons of water to produce 1 pair of jeans. And, and people sometimes get shocked, really.
Right.
But for me, it's just a chance to spread my message and raise awareness.
Yeah, the numbers you share right now in this episode with me are mind-blowing. It's quite hard to imagine whatever gallon of water, but when you think, wait, this pair of jeans is last season, what other people say it has been, let me replace it. Someone else will use it, and no one will use it. It's gonna stay on this planet forever.
Yeah. And if you're gonna buy almost the same pair of jeans, because pair of jeans is pair of jeans. Here you are wearing low waist or high waist, whatever. You're gonna buy almost something similar. And so why not to upcycle this pair of jeans and be a little bit more environmentally friendly? 7,000 gallons.
Do you have, this is coming from, I'm really interested for myself. Jeans is really something that I throw away every maybe 5 years because they lose the butt area, they lose their homogeneity. See? Scientists talk. Homogeneity. How can I reuse the legs part? What can I do with that? Do you have any applicable advice?
Yes, I saw one good idea recently. You can tie a knot at the bottom and put a bottle of wine in it and use it as a wine bottle carrier or something. And You can make a handbag out of it. So there are a lot of usage ideas for this. Actually, people make pillowcases, cushion covers, seating pads for chairs as well.
Right.
So yeah, but I would suggest to patch the jeans and wear them as jeans still. It will look funky.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a great idea. When you said people approach you and you use it as kind of a
Yeah.
way to share your message, that also reminded me of a good friend of mine who is sitting in the middle of Ukraine in the city called Melitopol. She started to educate herself on the zero waste lifestyle. So she's carrying spider bags to the shops. She has completely refused the smaller transparent bags that we use for fruits, veggies, and so on. She brings her own colorful,
Yeah.
perfectly reusable little bags. Um, People meet her, greet her, applaud her. The sellers on the bazaar, on the market already recognize her. In the supermarkets, it's a small town. In the supermarkets, we remember you. No bags. I understand. No problem. And when
Really?
she meets new people, recently she had a story. There was a guy coming her way. It was like, and she had her daughters in her hands. So she was walking with all of that, with all her own stuff and things she bought. And he says, wow, we should put a statue in your name. You were caring about environment so much. And she says, I don't need a statue. The best thing you can do is to follow my example. That will be my biggest award. And this is exactly what you share, what you say, yes, nice, thanks for the compliments about how I look, but here is the message I want to pass on. That is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. That's the best thing, yeah.
How is it going right now with the COVID, non-COVID lockdown? Do you still do the offline events? What's going on in the community?
Offline face-to-face classes, not really. I do some meetings, some sort of, at home, at my place. And once people are back from the holidays, I'll probably put a poster. If anyone wants a one-to-one session in my local community, I'm happy to do that. So because, town halls, they put very high requirements that are really difficult to fulfill when I want to rent a meeting room in the town center. So at this point, I don't want to get into this, just to make things complicated for me. So I'd rather see people one-to-one in my house than go and have classes. So yeah, it's just easier that way.
Right.
And online, I'm always happy to give classes, consultations online.
Yeah. And what's the plan? How the business is gonna grow? What do you envision for the future?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I started working on a book. Also, it's like one of the lockdown changes. And this book will be having a few projects for upcycling. Of course, facts in between the lines for people. It's not going to be all theory, scientific evidence, but in between the lines, if I'm going to put facts and tell nice stories, then I think it will be better. And then how to look after your clothing and tips. So just something really nice and useful. How to extend life of clothing, look after clothing. Yeah, this sort of thing.
You should let us know when the book is out.
Yeah.
And since we're on this topic, what would you suggest or recommend to read to educate ourselves on the clothing, the impact our wardrobes have on the planet?
There are a few documentaries that I watched. One of them is just a very well-known one, is The True Cost. It's called The True Cost. It's about clothing and how it's being discarded and how it's being produced. So it's really sad. And also a tragedy that took place in Rana Plaza. It's absolutely unbelievable that, it could happen. And unfortunately, it's still going on. Workers' conditions really didn't improve that much, but this is something we need to work on. Unfortunately, the governments are not interested. The companies who are having these close productions there are not interested as well. So the only power now lies with the customer. So this is something that we can do. Start with going for 200 days without buying new clothes. I have a campaign called 200 Days That Matter, hashtag 200 Days That Matter. So just you can buy pre-loved vintage, and of course, if you need a pair of new pairs of socks, you can go for it. But clothing, just in general, pre-loved or vintage, and don't go for anything new. And of course, we have Christmas coming. It's the time when everybody wants a new Christmas jumper, but trust me, nobody remembers what jumper you were wearing last year. So go for it and wear the same jumper from last year and do something good for the environment. All these Christmas jumpers, they're ending up in charity shops again, unfortunately. So yeah, 200 days that matter. Do your bit. It's going to be fun. Do it together with your friends and family. Find solutions out of your situations, difficult situations, as you might think difficult. Mend, upcycle, and I have even a tutorial, basic projects for upcycling. They are like 30 minutes up to 1 hour projects, but the results are really, really good. And they will surprise you.
Yeah, you remind me, I go clothes shopping every maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe it's the Soviet poor childhood, but it's in my mind, I have to wear it till the last moment, till the end. And even after that, my mentality works in a way, oh wait, I took this, this blues to Brazil. All the memories are inside. Oh, but I wore it on my graduation day as well. Everywhere I was wearing this thing, it looks horrible, but I cannot let go. This is my relationship with clothes.
Yeah, a lot of memories are attached with things. Yeah, so something worth keeping. Yeah, especially if it's from someone that you love, or someone that is no longer with us. Definitely something worth keeping.
Another thing you said, no one will remember which jumper you wore last Christmas. Another curious story from me. When I was a student in Kiev, during my bachelor, I remember one particularly terrible year when I couldn't find any job to do after classes. So money was tight. I was walking to the university from my house, even in the winters, 40, 50 minutes on foot, same bag. And I was wearing only one pair of jeans throughout the whole year. I didn't even have a skirt. And I was feeling terrible. I thought everyone noticed. And everyone was secretly judging me behind my back. So finally we graduated. Years afterwards, I spoke to my classmate over the glass of wine. Do you remember this? Do you remember that? And I was like, oh my God, probably. Do you remember I was wearing one pair of jeans in autumn, spring, winter, and a little bit in the summer? Like all the year, all the seasons. I was wearing just one pair of jeans, hoping over the weekend it will dry. And she said, no. And she was my best friend, no one cared. No one even noticed because they were so busy with themselves. It's amazing, And
it's just our mindset. Yeah, our mindset. Yeah.
I was cycling and rotating on it 9 months. For 9 months, can you imagine? Like everybody knows. Oh my God! Again, the next day I'm still wearing the same. I was only changing the tops as much as I could. But that was life at that point of time. And speaking of Christmas presents, I'm getting more and more convinced that the best present we could give our friends, families, whoever else is our time. is our
Yeah,
time and presence.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, spend some time together, time, experiences. Yeah, but not something like you go and get something, from a shop that everybody will buy, and
Yeah.
it's not so personal. It's not personal touch kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Yeah, speaking of presents, I'm making hand warmers from sweaters now, and they're gonna be really nice presents for Christmas, by the way.
Wow, yes, look at that. Go ahead.
They're really good for people who have like blood circulation problems. They have always, cold hands, cold feet, and they are leg warmers. I can make leg warmers as well, and but now I have just hand warmers, different colors, different patterns. So they're really nice.
This is my problem, by the way, too, especially with feet. So I'm definitely going to your Etsy shop. I know you have one.
I can send you one. Yeah, yeah.
I will buy it because I like to treat handmade labor fairly.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And
know what it means. Another question, I was just curious. Speaking of the upcycling of your own clothes, not those that you get in charity shops or from those donation bags. I noticed that things get mentally old at some point. So if I am redoing, let's say, I'm taking the old dress and I'm making a pillowcase out of it, it still reminds me of an old dress, and I know that I am mentally tired of it. Is there any way to change that mentality, that mindset, or does it really become a different piece of stuff that maybe it might change the perception?
Maybe it's worth adding color to this dress than just to brighten it up a little bit. Color. I was doing quite a lot of research about colors and our mental wellness and how it all affects us. And yes, clothes that we wear every day, it affects us a lot. And even people see us differently if we wear something bright or if we wear something grayish, brownish, and all those beige things. So probably if this dress is not the color that you like, adding some color, adding colorful buttons might be good, adding some bright ribbons might be good, and it will probably hide an idea that it was a dress before.
Right. Yeah, because I think the problem we are having is rather in the head. It's not out of a bad feeling that people discard their stuff. At the
Yeah.
first stage, it's badly made decision. Didn't try it while in the shop. By the way, in the Corona time, I don't think it's even happening anymore. So didn't try. Missed out on the color or the shade.
Yeah.
And it was a poorly made decision in the first place. Money was spent, then you feel like you were obliged to wear it to return on that investment in a way, and then at the end it just sits in the wardrobe and no one needs it anyway, even after you donate it. So there is a vicious circle. I think it's even in the head in the first place.
Yeah, there was a nice quote that I came across recently. It says that before packing your unwanted clothes to give away, you need to unwant all those clothes when you want to buy it, when you think you want to buy it. So when you try buying something, just unwant everything before buying it. It's just about probably impulsive buying, I guess.
Yeah.
It's better to do less of this, definitely. You can treat yourself if you think you need shopping therapy, if you think so. It's not going to make you happy. And especially now with all those restrictions, no fitting room, and there is queue distance and you have to wait. It's not going to be shopping therapy. It's going to put more pressure on your mental wellness, and you don't need that. If you want to treat yourself, go out to the nature and meet friends, do something that you like, have a hobby, do something creative. Will help really.
Yes, that brings me, you just reminded me of another kind of a side effect of the clothing and garments. I recently took a coaching session to discuss my grignotage, eating a little bit, breaking in between the meals. Like, why do I eat? Why do I eat sweets? I don't even want sweets. Why do I drink coffee? I don't even like coffee, I don't. I like the smell of it, but I don't like drinking coffee. I don't need it. And we were going through this reflections. And in the middle of it, I realized that I compensate. I exhaust myself with work during the day. And I feel like I deserve a reward. So I'm going for a sweet. I'm like, you did a great job today. You deserve something. So while sitting on the same spot, I reach to grab a chocolate or something like that. With clothes, it's probably the same. If you're buying relentlessly, spontaneously, and sporadically, without any plan, without even realizing if it suits you, that's probably a good thing to do, is to look into coaching and see what you are compensating for. I realized just 60 minutes, but I realized so many interesting things about myself and my relationship with food. Maybe the next thing is clothes. And what do you think? Maybe it's a good idea for everyone out there to use the services of a stylist professional to go through your kind of map of style, what kind of person you are, what kind of events you attend most of all, your color palette. Maybe this is a thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good idea to reassess everything. Because, when we do shopping, in most cases, we don't think, we just, it's time to do shopping. And then we don't think either if, there's event coming and we will need something to wear, or if we spend a lot of time in the office, we need something formal, or we wear mostly informal. So yeah, a lot of those things need to be taken into consideration. And yes, compensating for something, definitely, because for me, it's something like addiction. And we think that shopping will make us happy. This particular skirt or this dress, it will make me happy. But this is just short-term fix. You get excited like first 10 minutes when you own the dress, and then it goes, because all those advertisements, they're designed in the way that they make us believe that this will make us happy. And then it just vicious circle, and we spend again and again. But what we need to do is just to stop and rethink all of this, go through our wardrobes and do reevaluation. If we need a professional help, definitely go for it, because you're going to do it once and it's investment, and you will save a lot later on, and you won't make those not planned purchases that will result in a mistake. Some mistake can be expensive as well. So yeah, it's definitely something to think about. If you feel that you are drowning, you cannot cope, just go for it and sort it out once and for all. And it's going to be really, really helpful.
Yeah, it seems like it gives a short dopamine push.
Yeah,
dopamine, and then it just drowns energy from you on the longer run.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you end up like all this clothes, and then you find out that you don't have really time to wear it all, and it sits in the back of the wardrobe and ends up in a charity shop, unfortunately.
Well, this is such a deep topic, this fashion. And
yeah, that's true.
It's the third time I'm approaching it from a different angle. Fast fashion, what to do. Then we had a UK-based startup, Post-Carbon Lab, that integrates algae threads into the textile. Yes, and that by wearing your t-shirt or dress, you're purifying air around you. Now we're diving deep into mending and upcycling, and my head is still full of thoughts. And you, by the way, added some new thoughts today. I see we're already touching on the psychology, well-being, mental health, compensation and overcompensation. But to wrap it up for today, what would be your 3 to 5 takeaways the guests should walk away with and try, maybe consider implementing today?
The first one, of course, try to go for 200 days. If you don't want to do 200, start at least with 1 month, or let's make it 100 days. And see how you feel. And with the time, you will feel very, very liberated from this habit of buying things that you don't really need. So then I would suggest, some people do it, some people don't. I have summer clothes and winter clothes, and in summer I pack away winter clothes, so I don't wear it out. My clothes just doesn't sit in the cupboard, getting dust on it, and I protect it and I pack it away, and that's it. And I don't see my sweaters, and in September I'm gonna unpack all my sweaters and they will look to me like new. So it's something new that I haven't seen for 6 months, and I will be happy to wear them. So you can try doing it as well. And mending, you can try to mend. Upcycling as well. Upcycling is a good thing to do when you have something small for you to wear, or something big, or change the style. If you want to make some dress look like, something to wear for special occasion, it's also possible. Everything is possible. And if you really need to buy something, make sure you buy something of good quality. Check the fabrics, check seams, because instead of buying 3 cheap items, buy something good looking with classic style, something that is a bit more expensive, but it will be your investment. If you buy one woolen jumper, it will last you longer, but you just need to protect it from moth and make sure you use a proper washing cycle. So these are just simple tips to follow to make sure that your clothes last longer and you enjoy wearing it.
Yeah,
it's all about joy and actually, and how you feel while wearing it.
Exactly. I noticed this joyfulness in everything you do, in everything you share, and even how you speak and write. It's with joy. So that's a very good point. Pre-loved clothes and joyfulness.
Yeah.
I would add maybe one little point. If possible, shop locally from local brands, local little workshops, to also help the local economy instead of actually harming the economy and the societies and the communities, as you mentioned, somewhere in Bangladesh, Rana Plaza. Right. Olesya, thank you so much. It was a great interview. I got super inspired. Next thing I'm gonna do today/tomorrow, I'm gonna look for stylists that will help me rediscover my personal style, because I changed as a person many times throughout these recent years, and it feels like I need to start reflecting. I want my outfits reflect who I actually am. So this is one thing I'm gonna do, one good thing I'm gonna do for the planet and for myself, inspired by you. Thank you so much, and I hope the listeners will follow the lead. There were so many smart ideas to grab. So I really hope, and if anyone who listens to us today or later on down the road implement something shared today, please reach out to both of us, either of us. We're findable, approachable on LinkedIn, and share your story. Thank you, Olesya.
Definitely. Thank you, Anna, so much. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Yes, share your pictures, your creations, your mending projects with us. I would be really happy to see. Check my tutorials if you're interested, my online course, and join my Facebook group as well. It's Slow Fashion Buzz - Upcycle and Mend.
Super. Thank you very much and have a great evening and all the best of luck with Slow Fashion Bus business enterprise.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So as always, I appreciate so much you taking the time to listen to us today, to learn about upcycle, mending, slow fashion, fast fashion, and what we collectively and individually can do to fix the problem with our wardrobes for the planet and ourselves. I hope you got inspired, you took some action points and are gonna act on them hopefully soon. Reach out to, as I said, to me or Olesya on LinkedIn, on our websites. We'll be super happy to hear your stories, to get inspired from you. And I always suggest some other episodes to go through, connected to, related to the topic that we have just discussed. So the first one is the one I have already mentioned during the interview, is the one with Claudia Sharakovsky called Sustainable Fashion, Where Are We Going? This was the first one where we scratched the surface of the problematic of fast fashion. And then another one was with Diane Lin from Post Carbon Lab. The episode is called Your Clothes Can Breathe, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long time ago, more than half a year ago that we recorded. And yes, if any other episode, topic, guest, so to say, looks at you, you're more than free and welcome to listen to all the other episodes on this podcast. It's made for you by the sustainability professionals working in various fields and walks of life in order for you to implement this advice and become more sustainable. Anyway, it was a real pleasure talking to you today, being with you all today. Until next Thursday, take care and be sustainable. Ciao, ciao.